Hi guys, good evening. Can you hear me? Good morning.
Hi, sir. Good morning. Sir, good
Good
evening.
evening, Bhaskar. Good evening. How are you?
Yeah, good, sir.
Okay, great. Thanks. Let's wait for others to join. I think, yeah. Oh, there's a very less strength today. Uday has some emergency, so he has to travel. He said he couldn't attend. It's fine. Lakshmi, hi Lakshmi. Jigarsha, Bhaskar, Teja. Quite a few. Apara, hi Apara. Tata. I think
Hi,
I have
sir.
Vijay with me. Vijay, you can also join. I think we can ask our two members to join as well, the students. I forgot to give them the link. Where do you share the link? Let's give it to them. Okay, I will. This right. Start. Okay. Shobhan Babu. What about the others? Parvesh didn't join. Prasad. Can you put a message in the other group as well? Tags online. Nobody. You can also join. Possibly you can. Yeah. Hey, can you hear me now? Hi, Shobhan Babu. Can you hear me? Hello. Others, can somebody confirm whether I am audible?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, thanks, Bhaskar. All right. Okay, let's give a minute or two. Not sure why not many people. Lakshmi actually posted. I'm giving that link as well. Lakshmi, thanks for that. Okay, think the same things. No problem. Let's wait for a minute or two. This portion is what I think I said, we could edit it. Call started recording, especially when you put it right. These few minutes, we don't really need that. We can possibly trim it. Okay, so where are we in terms of the assignment base? Were we able to finish it? I think Lakshmi sent me that. Others, were you able to spend some time on the assignment?
Sorry, sir. As I informed, I have some other meeting today.
Okay, no problem. That's fine, Bhaskar. Where is Dhananjay? Quite a few people. Most of them are not turned up today. Okay, I think let's get started. Probably the others can get joined. Okay. All right. Good morning and good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining. What happened? Quite a few people still drop. Tata, Bhaskar, Jigar, Lakshmi. Oh, is it? Is it a problem? Because I wear my Bluetooth. I'm in my friend's office.
A little bits of a cracking noise, sir.
Oh, is it? Maybe, I'm in the college, there is no signal. So I came to my nearby office, my friend's office. And there are still people working, so I took my AirPods. Is it the
Okay.
same with others or is it manageable still?
It's a bit cracky, but we can manage. It's
Okay.
not that much disturbance.
Okay, thank you, Bhaskar. I'll also try to be a little louder because I didn't want to be disturbing others, the people nearby they're working on. All right, no problem. So you can still, but not bad, you can hear me out, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so probably Lakshmi, and I think Chakravarti also did not join us. Quite a very low population. I see Lakshmi had already posted a message, which is fine. We'll continue to monitor. Others can join, right? All right, let's get started. Assignments, Lakshmi, the program was very good, very happy. I saw this executed as well, and good show. Keep it up. Yeah.
Thank
The
you, sir.
program is actually looking for the menu, which is like going on a loop. And as long as the user wants to play around with any different data, and you also gave an option, very thoughtful, whether you want one at a time or you want all the conversions to happen at once, and it goes in a loop. Perfectly, this is how I would write a program if I were to write. So really very good to see the thoughts that you applied on the requirements. Keep it up. Good show. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And I guess game as well was nothing less, nothing more. It was okay. Just keeps giving. You're also giving a hint as well. It is also equally good. So good show. Definitely that's a good interest and spreads that you have, right? So obviously I would request and expect others as well to spend some time after every class so that you are able to be on track and catch up to the subjects that we speak as well. Okay. That's something I would definitely request and recommend we take some time. Maybe, I don't know how it works for you. Maybe towards the end of the day or beginning of the day, sometime in the middle of your work, whatever it is, try to squeeze in some time so that anytime before the next class, you come prepared. Whatever the task assignments that we have, and we are well prepared. So today I thought I'll cover, yesterday I shared some images. I hope you're able to see that. Did any of you take a look? On Git and GitHub. No? What are the new members who joined yesterday? They are not. Okay. Who asked for this link, right? Just a minute. Aruna. Certainly, will tell him that we are here. Okay. Hope you're able to see my screen, guys. Hello.
Sir, you
Yes,
can
sir, we can see.
Sure. I think my speaker got. Okay, this is the image that I've shared yesterday. Hope you must have taken a look, right? Just as a gist what I plan to cover. Right? Hello? Audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is one of the sessions, if you remember, a while ago, we said, want all of you to use GitHub. And we made a poll. Somebody wants to have a refresher session. So that's what we thought we will cover today because it's also really important. And of course, there are quite a few we can cover on the Java classes and objects as well. But this is something, I thought just as probably a break, we can cover this today. Fine. But unfortunately, I don't see a great audience. But anyways, otherwise, we need to go back to classes and objects, which one we can choose. When we have more audience, we can cover this. I wanted to cover the version control and the Git bit of a history. Plus, how do we use a bit more? This is again a year before I prepared, probably a couple of months ago. I have the material ready, I can easily walk you through, right? So should we cover this today or we go back to classes and objects where we left off?
I think better to go with where we left off, sir. This will be
Sure.
helpful for many to refresh.
Got it. Then we'll check. That's good, Bhaskar. No problem. Thanks. So let's go to the other concept where we left off, right? And this is where I had the assignments of Lakshmi. So these other team members are not joining. I don't really see. Hare, what's happening? The people are waiting for them. Coming. Yatish. Okay. What's happening? I'm not able to type. Parvesh may be busy because he's working tomorrow. Uday informed me. Others, many people are definitely left out.
Sir, Chakravarti message like he want to join, like he came from the office right now.
Okay, sure. Now let him take it. No problem. Thanks. Okay. So this is what the Lakshmi, your assignment has said. It's fine. We'll go ahead with the rest. So where did we stop on the other day? I'll go back to day 7, right? When we discussed palindrome, we discussed on the other day. Okay, student.class. So only student.class, not student.java. How come? String reverse demo student.class. There's no student.demo. Huh? Okay. Here we have. Yeah, I think Kavin joined. Hey, Kavin. Good evening. Can you hear me? You're able to see me, right? Kavin?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, thanks for joining, Kavin. So
Thank
Kavin
you.
is the student here from Ramakrishna Engineering College, whom I am now taking the classes on. So he is a regular attendee of the class, right? Okay, thank you, Kavin.
Thank you, sir.
Carry on. Yeah. So others, whoever is joined, that's fine. Let them. We will take a welcome later, right? So last class, what have you seen, guys? On classes and objects, we have seen toString method. We are able to create an object. We are able to invoke at this point of the objects method at this point. Yes or no? We're able to create two objects, right? Or one object. Right. We split into test student as well, correct? If you could remember, this is what we discussed, right? Single responsibility principle. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Initially, we made it as all at one class. Then we split that into properties and member variables known in the main class student, and the test class into the main method with the test class, right? So let's continue from there. This test student, what did happen when we? So let's take a look. Student.java. We have a student class. The attributes we created: name, location, department, or age, roll number. Student it is one method. That's a challenge. Keep admitting the people. And then we print all of them by passing the student details. Next, we have print details. This is a static method. I'll come back to that. And this is the instance method where we have just a student object we are passing and we print all the details. But ultimately, what we shortened version we made is we create a print details without passing an object, because we said an object want to print the details of its own. So you don't need to pass an object to that. What are you going to call that object is Chakravarti dot print details. That means I'm invoking a method on that object itself, so I don't need to pass that object. That's a precise way of dealing with an object in object-oriented program, right? But one more thing, what we looked at is we don't need to call this object if you pass yes dot. The same object I'm talking about. What is the shortcut or the pointer that we use? Hey Ashima, I think I welcome quite a few people. Ashima, good evening. Thanks for joining. It's the first class for you, right?
Yes, sir.
Hey Ashima, thanks for joining. Yeah, no problem. Who is it? Sam? Sam. Kavin is fine, I understand. Who is it? I think it dropped. I saw one Sam. Okay. Hey Vamsi. Hi Nidhi. Good evening. Okay. Thanks.
Hi, Rahul.
Hey, so people whoever had joined newly, I would request you to please go through the previous videos. I'm not sure, maybe are you there in the WhatsApp group?
Yes, sir.
Sure. So hope you are able to take a look at the video links that I have already shared. If not, let me know. We have a YouTube channel where I upload all the everyday videos. Please go through that. I know there are a lot of different people at different stand, right? Different status. So the previous things, whatever we have covered, you can catch up with the recording, right? So we're just covering on the Java basics with the classes and objects. Okay. So what we have seen is we did have one class earlier where we wrote everything in that class, including the main method. It's a student.java class. Okay, I should write this. This is student.java. This is test student.java. So what we did potentially, rather than having to deal with everything in one class, which calls the main method, creating an object, etc. That's what we did it here as well. Here, okay, this we splitted. Before, what did we have? I'll go to dev file. What we have? Student.java, right? We had a class, defined attributes. From that main method, we created an object, Chakravarti, and created the properties. Then Bhaskar, two different objects we created. Then we called the methods as well. We defined the methods here, print details, etc. And we called them Chakravarti.print details. So everything was at one class. And what did we really break that? Instead of having everything in one class, we wanted to split that into two different stuff, wherein the main class will only have the members, properties, and functions, methods. They are collectively called as members. That is all it will have, nothing else. And we wrote a separate class, which is called a test class, that will have the main method, because this class need not have a main method. Main method is a starting point of execution of a program. It need not have a main method. So we do this class, the main class. So we separated that out into a different class called test student.java. That is what we're going to look at it here. This is what we're going to have a look at it here. From day 5 to day 6, right? What we wrote. Keep joining. Okay. So here we had two classes, student.java, test student.java. Earlier we had only one student.java on day 5. So what does that we have here, student.java? We have the properties and methods, that's all. toString also we look at it. That's going to be a string representation of the object. Meaningful string representation. And there is no main method here. If you look at it, there is no main method here. We don't need to have a test class, test method to, the execution point of a method, which we have written it separately into a test student.java, where we have a main method, which will have the code containing the code for testing the class. Student class where we create the object, and then two objects we create, then we invoke the method, then we print it. So let's run this. What are we actually doing? Let's once again do. We create two objects. First object I name it as Chakravarti. New student, new is a keyword. I create a student object. Then we pass on the attributes, the values which the object wants to have. Let's say, for example, this is more like if you have to take an admission in a college or a job in a company, what do? You start from your home. Do you simply just get started and go to the new job or a new college? What do you tend to do? Anybody? Guys?
First, we need to fill the form, which we have all the details.
That is fine. That is okay. You got the admission, actually. You got the admission. Okay. You got the admission granted, and you are starting from your home to join the class. Join a job, which is a different location, right? Different city or different location, generally, right? So what do you tend to do before you take up your job or you take up the course? You have to start from, while starting from your home, what do you do? That's my question.
We will pack all the laptops
Exactly.
in one bag,
Yes.
and we will take that bag with us.
Very good. You get prepared basically, right? What do you get prepared with? Of your belongings. Yes or no?
Yes, yes.
Typically, if you are to stay in a hostel, you get prepared with your blankets, the pillow stuff, etc. If at all you want to have your own, plus obviously the dresses for a couple of days or quite a good amount of period to wear it, and then your certificates, laptops, calculators, all the utensils and apparatus that is required to perform your job efficiently. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, sir.
That's right, right? Your certificates, all that you take it with you. You carry, you get prepared. That is your initial stage of your readiness. You do that. That is what we do it here. Correct? Hold on to the thought. I would need that just in a minute. So we are now giving the initial values to the object when we are creating. You got your admission before joining a college. We are giving you all this. Obviously, our parents will say, "Hey, you are getting ready. Have you packed this? Have you taken this?" The mother will say that. Right? If at all, have you taken your medicines? If at all you're taking some medicines, if at all, are you having it handy so that you don't need to go there and suffer like that? All the initial details, what we want. Have you taken your notebooks? You don't have a shoes. Let's go and buy the new set of clothes, new shoes, geometry box, whatever it is, anything that you need to, for you to efficiently do your work. Whatever needs to be prepared, given to you, we are giving it. Yes or no? All of us are agreeing? Just not from Lakshmi, others as well, right?
Yes, we'll prepare this.
Right? Right. So we do this for this object, Chakravarti. Something like as I already told, in a class, there's not just going to be one student. Again, now in this session right now, I think how many of us are there? Roughly 13 people, excluding me, there are 12 people. All of you have your own preparations to come to the class. Yes or no? You have your workplace, your laptop,
Yeah.
your Wi-Fi connection. Probably now you would have become prepared to have your dinner as well before that, right? Which I also do. Because we go beyond. Now I have hard stop. I'm traveling tomorrow. I should stop at sharp 10. Somebody stop me. I also stop myself, right? So we get prepared, and that readiness is different from each of us. Yes or no? Probably somebody is still sitting at home or home office. Somebody is still at office. You connecting from mobile, connecting from a mobile network, or connecting from Wi-Fi. Any different combinations all of us are doing, but nothing. But nobody has not all of us have the same pattern. Yes or no? If I were to derive this pattern, all of us are attending the class at this time in Zoom. Not two people. No two people may share the same set of attributes. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
That is a readiness you all prepare. You do yourself to attempt the class. Think of that way, right? So we created two students, two objects. Then we print detail. Print details method we call. We just wanted to print the details of that object. Exactly the reason why I'm saying now, if I say, maybe let's say how many of you are connected from Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi network. Tata, Apara, right? Who else? Roughly, how many of us are connected from Wi-Fi? 2. I am connected through Wi-Fi now. Vijay connected through. Then rest of them all most likely have connected through their mobile network. It looks like, correct? So each of us have a defined parameter. If I were to print Raghavan details, I should get Wi-Fi connecting mode. Yes or no? Whereas, let's say I take Vinny or who is it? Ashita, is it Ashita? The newly joined person. Is it Ashita? Or Parvez, for example, others. For them, the details will be given as the mobile network. Correct? Their own details, each individual object's own details. Correct? So that is what we want to print. I want to print the details of this object. That's why I give the object reference. If I do that, this is where I have seen, and this is one. And another aspect is we print the object itself directly. This is where the toString method gets invoked. So I go here, right? So what I do here, printing the object as it is, which in turn will invoke which method? toString method of the class or of the object, which is fine. Is it clear, guys?
Yes,
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 sir.
Raghavan.
So this is what we do. Okay. Now this, I want to print the details of a particular object. So what we have done here, I go to the student.java once again. So we print the details, what we have seen. If we were to pass an object, we print that object as a reference. That passed object's detail, we would print it. Whichever object is invoking, we pass. But now we see the shortcut, we don't need to do this. It will be like this. You don't need to touch your nose by going around, all around your face. Rather, you can directly touch like this. In object-oriented programming, we invoke a method with respect to that particular object. Like Chakravarti.print details, we would use, because we don't have an object here, like student case, we don't pass, it is implicit. So there is an implicit object. What do we have here? There is an implicit object. Because what is that? This method does not receive a parameter, right? Or object of type student. However, it can access the properties of the object in which it is invoked through, what is that? A special keyword or pointer called, what is this? This, which refers to the object in question. That's a shorthand operator, you can look at it. So whenever we want, we say, just say this dot name. That means object on which the method is invoked, that particular object's property, right? We have already discussed that. I'm just revising that. And this is where the toString method, it is there in java.lang.Object class, where we write a meaningful representation. Assuming that, let's do that here. Java C star.java and print it. Java test student. What do you get? Chakravarti's detail, print details we called. If you look at it, we fill in all the details and call only print details of Chakravarti object. So whatever this dot name, this dot age, we refer from that print details method, we print it. That's why we see hashCode. HashCode is a unique object reference in the JVM memory. Every object will get a unique identification. It's as good as like a roll number in a class or university. No two students will get the same roll number, even though they bear the same name. That is because to avoid the duplications, right? So we print all the details. Then finally we print two objects. If you look at it, the last two lines, we print Chakravarti and Bhaskar. So by means of which we invoke the toString method that will be automatically invoked. In the toString, what we have written, if you look at it, right, student, we print this, and hashCode, we explicitly invoke it. That's what we get this, the name and image. So that is getting printed. We get to understand the object being printed is of Chakravarti and is of Bhaskar. It's just a recap of what we discussed earlier, so that there are some new people who have joined, for them also to catch up. Are there any questions so far on this before I catch up with the topic for the day today?
Sir, can you please explain once the hashCode?
Yeah, no problem, Ashima. Hashcode is something like, let's assume there is an apartment complex. So there are a number of flats. So we do number each of the flats in some sequence, some ordering, correct? Hashcode is something which is uniquely identified to address an object in the JVM. So at the running virtual machine, each object gets a number. Like how you register a vehicle, Ashima? What do you get? Uniquely. Registration number, correct?
Yes, registration number or roll number.
Right. When you join a class or student, you get a roll number or registration number in the university. When you join a company, what do you get?
My ID.
Employee ID. This is all unique, correct?
Yes.
Assuming there is one more Ashima Banerjee. joins, but you two are not same. You are different.
No, the
You get
ID is
unique.
different.
So that is how, likewise, the JVM assigns a unique long string of integer value to an object of a class. That's an integer number. So which is present in Java. Okay, I think I have this. Okay, there's no bookmark here. Yes. No. Java.lang.Object. You look at it, right? This is a very super basic fundamental object and a super class for any class, any object, any class declared in the Java ecosystem, right? Every class has object as a super class. That means, do I have anything here? Let me copy this. Wait, day 06 student.java. Just allow me a minute to copy the class. Just student.java. Now, student.java I have. It is as good as extends object. This is something like inheritance, one of the OOP characteristics, object-oriented programming, where we say one class is the base class, other class is the derived class, parent or child. So what do you say? This class extends in another class. So you don't need to tell this explicitly, that is implicit. Even though you do this, the compiler is not going to compile. Who is chatting? Okay, Vinita, that's fine. And I'll explain that as well. Okay.
Okay.
You can prompt me, hide me. You can comment me, Vinita, right? Sometimes because I don't take a menu here, so I might miss out. No worries. You can stop me, no problem, right?
Sure.
And it's a bit difficult to manage both. Okay. So assuming that, do I have any dot class here? Okay, let's take a sample class as well. Class here. Sample class.java. What am I writing, sir? Is that right? Yes or no? Does the class have anything else?
No.
No.
Just a bare bone class, correct? Now, if I do sample class.java, what happens? I get a dot class. Yes or no? Yes. A dot class file generated. Java p -c. What do we do? What do you see that? There's one method alone, nothing else is present, correct? Yes. Now, assuming that, let's assume I say sample class.java. Now I do sample subclass.java, just for example, right? What I'm gonna do? Sample subclass extends object. All right. Do you know the difference? What I've typed? Yes. Sample class is just a class. Sample subclass I gave, I'm explicitly extending object. All of us are clear?
Yes.
Java C sample subclass.java. It also did compile, does not have any difference. Yes or no? I also have a dot class file, correct? Same thing, Java P -c. This is Java debugger. When I do disassembling the dot class file, sample subclass. Is there any difference? Do you see? I'm here disassembling the compiled version of sample subclass. Here I'm disassembling a sample class. Any difference on the compiled version? Because this Java the extends object is implicit, meaning you don't need to give it explicit. Even though you don't give it, it is taken for granted. Any class in Java will have object as a superclass, java.lang.Object. And java.lang is a package that is implicitly imported by default. There is a package. Package is more like a group of objects. Anything you want to group, you have a meaningful collection. So let's say, for example, I'll ask you a question. Let's take the same example, Lakshmi, that you are responding, right? You are joining for a job or a college. You start from your home. You said you'll start your baggage, right, Lakshmi?
Yes, sir.
Maybe let's just take it an example that you prepare 2 bags. One is your clothes. Other thing is your study materials. And probably third bag is your laptop, right?
Okay.
Do you carry cash currency with you or not?
We need to write. We need to
So
carry.
where do you keep it? Where do you keep it? How do you handle it? I know this example we've already discussed here long ago,
Yes.
right? How do you handle your currency?
I will put all the currency in my wallet.
Okay. Then
And
how many
cards
different
also.
forms of currency it can take?
Cards and currency.
Currency, cash, etc. Right? Rupee notes. You tend to put that in the wallet and then you keep it in your hand or your handbag. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Agreed?
Yes.
And where do you keep your charger, books, etc.? Where do you keep your laptop? Where do you keep your charger?
Laptop and charger in one bag, books and all the stuff in one bag, clothes in one bag, and wallet another.
So you keep laptop and charger together in the same compartment of your backpack or shoulder bag?
No. Like different compartments in the same bag.
They give a different, because backpack will have the last portion to have the laptop.
Yes.
There is a folding unit like cover, they give it cushion and then they give a foldable zip cover as well so that it gets latched. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Why do we do so? Why don't you put your currency, laptop, notebook, charger, power bank, your tablets, maybe your comb, any makeup items if you prefer, simple makeup kits, but all you have tablets all at one container and then take it along.
No, sir, it's hard to maintain. It's hard to handle also.
Okay, so hard to maintain what way? Why do you think it is hard to maintain? Can you not take everything?
Very difficult.
Very good. It is an easy accessibility. If at all you want to take, maybe you stop by to have some refreshments on your way. So you need some currency to be pulled out to buy something, correct? Maybe a chai break, tea or vada, samosa, anything you want to eat. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So what would be easy if you keep the money in a wallet, separate, easily identifiable item, and with which you pull out, or if you keep everything dumped into one container?
If I put the money in the wallet, it's easy to maintain. If it is dumped like that, it's very hard to, you need to search for everything, right?
Correct. Not necessarily the moment you put your hand inside the bag, you may be able to easily get that currency alone in the first lot.
Yes,
It
sir.
might have gone inside deep. You might need to shuffle, reshuffle. That's a tug of war you need to take. At that time, there's also a risk. One object may point sharply with the other. It might probably make a crack or anything. It may break. All that risk is associated, right? So what do we tend to do? We tend to group the related items into a container. Yes or no? Water bottle, we put it in the side. There is a side opening, they give it. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Depending on the easy accessibility, you tend to group the items, related items together and then keep it inside. Like wallet is the best example. All of you are agreeing, not just to Lasya and Lakshmi. Everybody is getting me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's the concept we talk about packages. We group a relevant set of items. Here, what is item in Java? Relevant set of classes into one related common unit, which is called a package. That's termed as package. We'll take a look a little later. That is what we talk about. So let's assume in all of us had the PET, physical education in schools, right? I'm sure nobody would have got escape. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
In a classroom, generally all of us are seated together. In some manner, maybe based on your roll number or wherever you think you are comfortable. First bench, last bench, in your next to your friend or wherever you get the seat. Mostly school levels, we fix our seat. This is my place. We generally do that. All of us will fight for our place. Yes or no? But
Yes.
is it the same thing that's going to happen when you go to playground, physical education? Do we maintain the same order?
No.
Or how are you classified when you go to, can somebody tell me?
Twice.
Sorry?
site-wise, or if we are playing any game.
No, that's okay. That's fine. There is some categories, classification they generally apply in the physical education in India, right? All the schools.
Yeah, house color.
Yes, there you
Separation.
go, Lasya. Very good. People are separated based on house. Blue house, red house, green house,
Nice
yes or no?
colors.
White house, yes, green house. And maybe they give a name as well. So when you go to the physical education class, how you form a group, how you stand based on the house that you belong to, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Exact concept you take a look here as well. All the relevant set of classes having the same purpose are grouped in a container that is called a package. Got it? In Java, how many packages are there? Generally,
Lang util.
that's okay. How many packages are there? Okay, lang, util, okay, others?
Math.
Lang, util, math, random.
Math, random and all is not a package, Lakshmi. Math, util and all is not a package. Okay, others can pick. Anybody? Guys, experienced people.
AWT.
Wow, nice, Ashima. Good. Okay.
Java.io
Okay.
and
Very
index.
good, Chakravarti. Mhm.
AWT.
One more. Mhm.
Java that's 2%.
SQL, yeah, that's also a package, but generally, yeah, we could do that as well. But by default, lang, util, net, or basic IO, wait. Give me a minute. Packages, list of packages, predefined packages. Packages, yeah. Predefined packages, 6 packages in Java. This is what I'm doing. Swing. SQL as well, swing. Okay. Lang, variability, swing is 1. SQL also you could take, no problem.
Okay.
That is also one of the cases. Something like that you can take it, right? Now, what do you need to look at it here? What classes we may have here? Java.lang. Can somebody tell me? Whatever you know you came across.
Object.
Very good. Bhaskar, good show. Others? Anything else?
Java.lang.math.
Map is an utility package. Math, huh? You said math?
Not sir, math, M-A-T-H.
Okay, no. Math is okay. Lang.math, that's right. Okay, that's right. You're right. Beforehand, guys, why there's a long silence? Why nobody is saying this?
Exception.
String already.
You have it or not?
I have. We have.
All these are valid classes we have in Java. Lang package. So why do we say lang?
It's kind of language dependent programming language.
Mhm.
Basic
It
requirements
is
for
dictionary to Java.
Okay. But who said the other word? Okay, Lakshmi, you are okay. Somebody said something else I heard.
a Bhaskar here.
Bhaskar, yeah,
Basic
what was the answer?
requirements for
Core element
program.
of a language. You're right. That's a core element. Java.lang.thread. And if you look at it, let me just fill here itself a few. This defines basic nuts and bolts or basic ingredients of a language, right? If you take a look at it, what do they all define, guys? These define what? Get silence, huh, people.
Features.
Basic ingredients of a language. Yes or no? No matter what, you should have all these in a language. Is that anybody who is not agreeing? You need to have a string, correct? You need to have an exception. You have a language, object for you to deal with anything in Java. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is how all the packages related to the language, core language, are grouped together and they are put it into a package called, and what do we call this as? We call this as a package. Why? It's a bundle. Package means what? A packet is coming. How do you pack it? They are packed together, grouped together into one single unit, where all of them have something in common. Here, what do we say? All these are relevant to the language, basic language itself. So if you want to write a program in Java that just touches upon the basic language itself, what package you need? What package you need? Guys, if you want to write a program in Java that just only deal with the basic essential elements or ingredients of a language, what package do you need?
At default, it will be lang package.
Only one package is sufficient. What is that package?
Java.lang.
That's what you're talking about. Why everybody is dead silent. This is imported by default for you. You don't need to typically, assuming that, let's say, for example, you have a program. Let's just say that prints, what is that? Let's write a program. Public class Java demo, let's say, for example. Or say string demo, not even Java demo. What do you would write here? Public static void main. As always, we have a construct, right? String args, then it's probably string length length. String is equal to hello world. I'm calling it as string length. What do it be typing? Int length equal to s dot length. Then what do I do?
Print.
System dot out dot println length is pretty simple program. Any questions? Any doubts? Pretty default and the simplest program ever that we can do. All right? Yes or no? Now, let's say this is what it is, and what we call it as string length demo.java. That's the name of the class, correct? So, this in general, had it been, what is it equivalent? What does it really mean? Let's assume I will group this. I print it here as it is, but info java.lang.String. This is we'll be writing the program otherwise, yes or no? In
Yes.
case of a class, we have used a scanner class, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we should be writing the program by default. If it is of a different package, we should have written this, correct? But this is equal. What is this? This is equal. Absolutely. What is the change you see between these two? What is the change, guys?
Import statement.
So this is what? Optional
Optional.
or default. Abstract.
Optional, sir.
Right. Optional or default. You don't need to give this. All of you are clear? Any class that is defined in the lang package, any class that is defined in the lang package is imported to you by default. You don't need to give this. Right? So let me probably give a color only to this. So this is a bonus one. You don't need to type it. Make sense? That's another concept, java.lang. What about the classes? Maybe you would have seen this. Okay, let me bring this here. This way. Make it little bit. Java.net is used for what? Any thoughts? Any thoughts on java.net? Guys? Any thoughts on this? What is that? Yeah, that's correct. Vijay, you said it. Socket. Anything related to network programming is actually anything related to what is network programming? Etc. If you want your system to connect to another system, you would have to write a program to connect over a network. So the network programming related classes are defined in java.net, internet, net. That's why we type it. Java.util package, any classes?
Scanner.
Utility packages like collections and the scanners.
Very good. Collections, we have it. Collection is also a class there, right? Then
Yeah.
what do we have then? Arrays. Yes. There are quite a lot. There are so many interfaces collection.
Yeah,
classes we can
collection of
write.
framework, entire classes,
Entire
interface.
collection. What we can write? Arrays. Then most important, what you see? List, array list, map, hash map. Yes or no? Maybe I'll give this as a different code. Can somebody tell me why I'm giving this in a different color?
Interface.
Very good. That's an interface. Okay. List. In there. Map is an interface, right? These are all. Sometimes abstract classes also we have, interface also we can have. Other things what you have. Hash map. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Their implementation classes what you have seen. Array list, right? Array list is a class. Okay, that's fine. Yes or no, guys? Hash map. All these are collections. You understand, right? Utility, anything related to util. Obviously, Lakshmi, as you said, which is also what a good example. What was it, Lakshmi, that you said? Lakshmi,
Sir.
your example, what did you say?
Mommy. I told only scanner, sir. I did not.
Scanner, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your example is scanner. Why? This is an utility that will be required by many programmers to deal with their reusable operations. They don't need to define it. Can I use my class without defining this? Can I use directly arrays list
No.
in a class? Yeah, Kavin, that's correct, scanner. What will happen if I don't do that?
It will
Let's
throw an error.
say, yeah, vi string length demo.java. Okay, type this as it is. All right. Correct. Did it complain? 12. What if I do this here? No big deal, right? And commented this out, compile this, and still it works, right? Likewise, now I say collection demo. Java. Public class collections demo. Public static void main oryx. What do we do? Let's say list of string, right? Names list equal to new array list. Can I do this? Names list dot add. Let's say, for example, Lakshmi. Names list dot add Ashi. All right. So I am using this as it is list class interface and array list class. Now, if I do this, what will happen? It very clearly says cannot find symbol. Why? It's in java.util package. The list is in util package. It is not imported to you by default. So you must go there, and what you should do? Give this statement. It is not free for you. You must do this. List import. All right. Now I added these two statements. Now I compile. Did it give any errors? No. So it is compiled, right? I'm not adding, I'm not printing, just added that. That's all. Yes. But the program compiled and executed successfully. Is it clear, guys? So this does not really demand only the classes in java.lang. Okay, most important, I forgot, guys. Nobody told me that as it is a super class. Special class. No. We have been using from day one. What is this class, guys? What is this class?
System.
What do you use it for? What do you use this for? System.out.println. Do we do that or not? It's a special class.
Yes, sir.
Very first class we could ever touch. And where it is defined? Lang file, right? Is it clear? Likewise, IO is for input output, AWT is for abstract window toolkit. Swing is, these two are related for graphical user interfaces. SQL is for what?
Database.
Structured query language, whatever you wanna use this, right? Okay. And what is this used for? This is all for what? All utilities and collections. Util package, right? IO, all input output. AWT is for SQL, this is for AWT and Swing are for graphical user interface. SQL is for databases, all anything to talk to structured query language. Any questions? So java.lang.Object, as I said, here one more thing. This as well. Okay, one more thing here. I think I could add this line. Extends objects, right? This is also default. You don't need to type this. By default, this class will get this. Make sense? These two are optional. Whatever is in green, they are given by default. Whether you make it or not, it is available. That's what I was trying to demonstrate here as well. What is my class? Sorry, sample class, right? SampleSubClass, they both are same. Now, for going back to who asked that question, Milita, toString, right? Assuming I have a class, student as well, you look at it, let's go to student. By default, okay, let's do one thing. SampleClass.java. toString demo.java. Public class toString demo, right? Public static void name string args. All right. What do I do? Maybe I say to I also have a variable. So what can we have it today? Probably, let's say status. Or okay. What do I do now? String demo object equal to. I create a new object. How do I create? Yes or no? System.out.println. I'll also give a string name equal to demo. I just say object. Now what is happening here? I have a class that has got attributes, two attributes. What are those? Name and status. Some values are given. And I'm just printing the object. Let's check what happens. By default, when I print, Vinita, hope all of you are paying attention. Whoever asked the question.
Yes, sir.
If not. By default, when you print an object, it would, we have already discussed it, I think you missed this in the previous class, right? It gives a name of the class. I've even shown that in the source code itself. Maybe I don't know whether you pay attention, you did not watch the video lecture earlier. It shows the class name and add @ and the hash code of this particular class, particular object.
Okay.
Sorry. Particular object, that is what it prints, right? By default, it gives that. So let's go to navigate class object, java.lang.Object. To go here. So what is the method? toString. So what do you get to see here? toString. Return get class.get name, correct? I am in the object class, toString method, get class.get name, meaning what? Name of the class. Do I have it? Plus @ do I have it? Plus Integer.toHexString of hashCode method. By default, you print hashCode. I can show you that as well. Let's print this, right? Okay, hashCode is also a method. If you look at it, what is it written? And what is this keyword called? Meaning
Native.
you can't touch it. Native to the platform operating system, the Java runtime environment will give it. Okay, it's out of your botheration. It will give a unique number within the JVM, right? Now what I'm going to print? Hashcode equal to this dot, not this, object.hashCode. What is the method name? C capital. Which class it is present in? Object. Do I declare extends object? But I've already told you it is given to you by default, object.hashCode. What I am printing now? Hashcode equal to hashcode. Here a variable name I put it or small c, method name is capital C. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, why I didn't get the value? Why I didn't get the value?
Not combined.
Why I had to compile?
Because changes
I made a change in the source code. So toString demo.java, I go. I can also get what? String hashcode hex, right? Is equal to integer dot. What is the method that it called? toHexString, correct?
Yes.
toHexString that returns what? Integer class method. Returns a string. toHexString, hexadecimal string. You pass an integer value. Yes or no? You pass this value. What do you do that still? System.out.println hashcode in hex. Hex means hexadecimal, right? What do you print? Hashcode. Hex. All right. Now what do you get? This is the actual hashcode value in integer. Long sequence of integer values, unique enough, long enough and unique enough to represent that value in the current Java virtual machine instance running memory, right? When you convert that into hexadecimal, what do you get value you get? In hexadecimal values, Kavan, this morning afternoon we discussed, right? Hexadecimal. Rest of others, A, B, E, F as A, B, C, D, E, F as well comes. Correct? Kavin, you are still there?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is what we get hexadecimal value. Okay. So now you look at it, name of the class, @ and integer.toHexString of this value. Are we getting it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, sometimes, but do you really understand anything out of this? With this, do you understand anything?
No.
No, sir.
Why? Why you say no? You still understand something, right?
Just
can
the
say-
class name we understand as it's the object of that class.
Correct. Anytime it just represents the name of the class and its hexadecimal equivalent of the hash code. While it is of some purpose, but not really to the benefit of the programmer who wants to look at the properties of an object. Does it give anything of the object state, the property? What property we talk about objects? In this class, what properties we have?
Name and
Name,
status.
status.
Anything you want to print it, correct? Now, let me do this. Just give me a minute. I create 1, 2, 3, 9 to 14, 6 lines, right? I create one more object, right? Just for the sake of it. Object 2.hashcode. Rest everything is same. Here I print object 2. Yes or no? I also remove this just hash. Java is toString.demo. What happened? Okay. 18. I already declared it. All right. What I have done now? I've cloned, copied and pasted the same set of lines to print the same properties of another object, new object. Yes or no? Now I call this. Now what happens? I get to see toString demo at the rate of, but only this is the changing value. Yes or no? That's a unique object. You understand? This number is different from this number in the program. Unique. They are not same. Is that clear so far, everybody?
Yes.
But do I have anything to distinguish it here? Okay, let me tell you that. Wait a minute. Maybe I take this. Okay, give me one. So what should I do now? If I have to add this to object not name, this is how I give the properties. Yes or no? Yes or no? To y. And here I want to give it for object 2. I give this as what? Boolean. I say this is false and I give 2. Can I do this or no?
Yes, sir.
Can I do this or no?
Everything.
All right.
Yeah.
So I have 2 objects and I give 2 values, both of them separately. This is what is called as instance state or instance properties. Each object, I told you an example, all of you are connected to Wi-Fi, mobile network, maybe you are in formals, you are in casual, you are at home, you are at office. So all put together defines your state. The state of the object are represented through the properties, right? So that, do we get to see it in the compilation of the code? When we run it, do I get to see anything of that object? Do I have any meaningful representation of the object here? So far, what it represents is the hint where the object belongs to, which class, and what is the address it has got. Is that's all? Anything else that it mentions about that particular object?
No.
No. So we do not really get to have any meaningful representation of an object, for which what we need to do, there is a method in the object class itself. Look at it. What is the method? What do we say? Returns a string representation of the object, whatever you want to return, right? In general, the toString method returns a string that textually represents the object. This result should be a concise but informative representation that is easy for a person to read. It is recommended that all subclasses override this method. Maybe we didn't see that basics, overloading and overriding. What do you mean by overriding? Overriding? You give a definition of the method in the same class by yourself. That means overwriting. Overriding means you are replacing. Is it clear? It is recommended. Why? If not, you get this only, which is not meaningful. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So what does it say? The syntax, let's be very clear. Already seen that. It returns a string, toString. Whenever the method is invoked, it should return a toString. Now let me say toString demo object. That's all I return as of now, right? Why it is? Because the default toString method present in the superclass java.lang.Object is not quite meaningful, as it just prints the name of the class with an @ symbol followed by hashCode of an object in the hexadecimal. But nothing significant of the object state properties. It is recommended to override this method as advised in the Java. Yes or no? And it returns a string. Now I compile this. Let's see. Now what do you get, sir? Do I get the default integer toString class method or my own method is called?
Own method called.
One method.
Why?
Because we have overwritten the object mode.
I have the same method. I have not even given @ of override. That is optional. When the object is printed in system out println, the Java runtime environment or compiler as well, will look for a method called toString, which has a return type of string and the public. What is that? And public access specifier, then it is gonna invoke that. Make sense? Make sense? It will not invoke the default method in java.lang.Object. It is gonna come here to invoke this. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do now? What is it ideally I want to represent that string here? What did I say? Why I am supposed to represent override this method? To give the status of the object, yes or no? I give this as a string, return that as a string. Now what happened now? Now do you see that? The object being printed is demo object number 1, whose status is true. Now the next object being printed is demo object 2, whose status is false. Is it better or this is better? The default. You get the difference, right?
Yes.
Benita, others, whoever had asked this question, and rest of them as well. This is the most important element of why we override the toString method. All right, guys?
It's not clear one.
Yeah. Which mostly I've explained this in the previous class, more or less, except
Okay,
to this
then check
extent
it
I have
out.
not gone behind. So this is a problem if you don't attend. I know you are not well. So that's a problem when people are not consistent, they don't pay attention. So we need to refine the same topic. No problem. So now is it clear for everybody? Why we override the toString, right? Now what are the other classes we have today? Okay. Now one more thing. Let's look at the toString method. Do I write extends java.lang.Object?
No.
No.
But by default, I'm able to do because there's a superclass, hidden superclass of every class. You don't need to type explicitly, but it is available. There's an exception. Then they say Java doesn't support multiple inheritance. You cannot extend more than one class. But this alone is an exception. Even though you write one class, parent, child, extends parent, but it can also extend object, java.lang.Object. It's always available. Okay. Now, okay, I wanted to.
How this demo?
Demo object 1. I gave this here. That's a name. I give the value here. Name. I am printing it here. So what I do generally here itself, I would recommend you print the hashCode also. Why? Why? Why I would recommend? Why? What happened? Next portrait type. Okay. All right. Now what do you get now? That object hashCode as well you get. Which is very unique way to identify from the logs where you print that this object is different. Let me tell you, prove you that. What if I give this value as well? 1 and true. Can I give this or not? Can I give this or not? Guys, can I have somebody responding?
Yes, sir. You can use that as well.
So now, assuming I don't have a hashCode, do you have any way to distinguish the objects?
No.
No, both are same.
It is as good as 2 students can bear the same name, correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
If you get it printed, how do you distinguish that this is a different object? 2 objects can bear the same property, correct?
Yes.
But hashCode is what is going to uniquely distinguish one from one. So that is why I recommend you should always add the hashCode in the toString. Number 1. Number 2, what are those? If an object has got 15, 20 properties, can you include all the 20 properties? Can I include all the properties? What happened? Good enough. Can I include all the properties, guys? The class has got 15 properties. Can I include them?
Yes, sir, we can include.
If required, we can, or
If required,
we can give whatever the fields required.
Correct.
Not mandatory to give all.
Right? So it's always what is recommended. We include the most significant properties which you want to be, which you want to print, and not all the available items. Why? As it would be very lengthy output and also clumsy at times. You don't get a clarity. Yes or no? Make sense? If the class has got 15 attributes or 10 attributes, you don't need to print all the 10 until otherwise all of them are necessary. So generally you include the attributes what is absolutely necessary to be reflected in the meaningful representation of the object whenever that is getting printed in a log file or output. Make sense? That's the last word on toString. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now, let's
Yes.
get into other topic. As I was, what I want to tell you. Student.java, we have this method. Okay. Now, what I was talking, what I was actually talking about this class, guys, especially when you're talking about this, what I was talking about, what are these? And why are we doing this? Object values. Then,
Here we said that
This
object names.
sorry. What am I doing this? Why it says very surprising. Something I went wrong. I don't know. VA doesn't work. What are these? Guys, why everybody is dead silent? I don't know. Are we all able to catch up or something? It is I'm making doesn't make sense.
we are
Guys?
initializing the properties of the object.
Correct, but why I don't get any response? I have to ask 5 times the same question.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
Raghav. Yeah, today I am facing bandwidth issue, actually
No
outside.
problem.
Yeah.
But there are 15
Yeah.
people, 12 people in the class. Everybody is dead silent.
Sir,
Right?
there is some
That doesn't
work
really.
going on near my apartment, so that's why a little bit silence from my side.
The rest of others are always silent. You guys generally speak, right? Otherwise, it doesn't give me a feeling that I'm talking to a live people who are watching it all, right? So what are these? We call it as the values.
Student details.
Right. And student details is fine, but they have a special meaning.
object.
Initializing the object, what did I say? When you create an object at fresh, you want to stuff in some details so that the object is born with this. Yes or no? You are giving the details. You are right after the creation. But generally what happens is, there is another way where you can represent that. Rather than specifying all these, with unique individual name. After you create an object, what you can do, there is a way you can mention that as part of the object creation itself. So that is called as constructor.
Constructor.
So I'm gonna call student or constructor demo. Right? Let me class called as person. Let me do this. Wait, give me a minute. Let that be as what it is. Public static void main. String. Now, what do I want to do? Typically, what is the old way so far? What we have seen? I have student
Creating object and it's like
S1 equal to new student. Then I created. Second step. Step 2, what I did? Initialize object
values to the
with the
object.
values. Right? This is step 1. Create a new object. Yeah.
Yes.
Then
Printing.
like what we do, S1 dot name equal to say Vinutha, right? S1 dot age equal to say 20, something like that. Yes or no? Then
Yes.
finally, what did I call? S1 dot print data. I invoke a method. So for this one, I have done. Yes or no?
Correct.
Constructors demo.java. Constructor demo. They are all null because I haven't specified any values. I get this, right?
Different.
Yes, correct.
Yes.
So now what I'm gonna do, rather than specifying this individually, unique step after that, there is a better alternate. What is the alternate?
Construct.
Instead of creating an object first and then specifying all the properties of an object later, we can club these two things together. It is through the special method called, what is that?
Constructor.
So what is a constructor? How does it look like?
Similar to that of class.
It's look like method.
Because it is a special method, first of all, it is a method. It's yet another method, right?
Yes.
But somewhere there has to be something special, right?
Whenever the
Won't
object is
return
created, constructor
anything.
will be called.
Return type is not required.
Needs to be special, something special because of its function, correct? Its purpose. Yes. Yes. The
Yes.
speciality comes with the name. What it bears the same name of the class. All right. So let's assume we have and one more thing. It should be having what? It has the access modifiers.
Yeah.
It has the access modifiers. Okay.
All
It
the
can be
data.
public, it can be private, all that. Then it generally should not have a return type, but if you want, you can do that. Generally, it does not have a. Why it does not have a return type? Be void. Why it should not have a return type?
Because it initializes the variable.
Correct. Why it should not have a return type? Because it just instantiates itself and doesn't need to return anything to anybody. Correct? It's a self. Yes or no? Now, if you want to write a method, public void. Okay, here I don't have that method. Okay, let me I have to copy paste this. Okay, I'll do that little later. Let me go to student Java. Student Java, I go. What is the name of the method, sir? You're talking about public void student. Yes or no?
Student.
Yes or no?
Parameters. Yes.
Now, what values can I pass? There
Yeah.
again, what is it we are talking about? This method will be responsible to initialize itself, right? Whenever you, and when does it get invoked? When you call a new
Object.
keyword, object name, this method gets invoked, correct? Let's also print that system.out.println student constructor. So just check this whether it is getting called or not. Yes or no? Java C student.java, Java constructor. What happened? Just a student. I don't have that class or not. Just a student. No. I think the classes got deleted. Just why doesn't I'm calling the same student, right? Okay, my bad. Sorry. My bad, guys. It should not have any return type, not even void. Just got confused. It should not even have any return type. It does not have any return type, right? Sorry about that. Java test is closed. Now you see that student constructor invoked?
Yes.
Why 2 times? Why 2 times? Now we see student
Because we
constructor
created
invoked.
two objects.
Objects are created.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the only thing, right? So here, so my there's nothing returns, so it doesn't even have a return type, not even void. Not hence it should be void, not even void. Make sense? Not even void. Generally, we instead indicate that a void is a return type. It returns nothing. But here, this is other speciality. Because it's a special method, you don't have a return type at all, ever. So it is just a access specifier and the method name. The method name bears the class name. That's a constructor. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, let me go to student.java. Right? What I have made return my constructor? I have just got a proof that whenever I invoke a new, I get this method invoked. But is that all? What is the whole purpose of constructor we're talking about? Constructor is responsible for initialize itself. So I want to give some values to the variables. How do I initialize? What values variables I can give?
Name is
Let's say name equal to, assume say I give Raghav. Yes. Is it fine? Can I give just name?
This dot name.
Why? Yeah.
refer to the
Initialize itself, we say. Yes. In object, always you should say, this object, what is being called, should get the name as any name that you think. Right? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This dot age equal to 6.
Sir, I have a small doubt. Like, are we not putting this just because it's taking variable from the class above?
Sorry, I lost you. Are you not putting this?
Like the reason why we are putting this is that we are taking variable from the class above, right? Like global variable.
That's correct. Not global variable, it's an instance variable for that class. It's an instance variable. Right? So these are exactly the variables are declared earlier, and these values were giving it as an initial value. Initially, when it is started off with, we give this. Make sense? Yes or no?
Yes.
Now I compile this class. I go to constructor demo. What happens?
Yes.
Is the change reflect?
No.
Why? Why did the change not reflect? Says Vinita. Why?
So you did not compile the Java constructor demo.
I did compile. I didn't make any change in Java constructor demo, right? What change I make? I only do the
Didn't
change in
pass the
student.
parameters.
Student.
I override the values here, guys. Even though in the constructor it has got, let me tell you that. Student at Java, I don't know why my vim got removed. Can I print this method now? Initially? Yes or no? Yes or no? It has got the value as Raghavan age 42. Yes or no? Once it is initialized, I'm printing this. And later, probably what am I doing here? After this is constructed, I override the value, right? 20 Vinutha. That is what the latest value I get. It is the initial value. Later, if you want, you can override. You can pass the values further as well. Make sense?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
assume I have a class called person. What would be the initial value you would set? Tell me. Person, right? Let's say string dot name, int age, correct? What value you think of giving for which parameter?
Is type.
For a person, when the object get initialized to any of these two properties, which property you feel like giving some initial value? Will you give some default value, initial value to a person?
Default values.
Will we think of giving?
No, his own name should be given.
Yes.
Yeah,
So what can we give? Can we give some age? Can we give some age?
No.
Guys, why are you thinking so much?
But default constructor
Why
will
not I
give
can train
default.
it? Stop them. Can we give some age? We can give this, right?
But default values will
Default, I mean, it will be different for
By default,
everyone.
it is 0. I don't deny that. Still, can we give this or not? Why I say this? When the person is born, yes?
yes.
Born is newly instantiated, correct? I can give a default value as 0. It makes sense for me to give this value, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Let's say person P1 equal to new person. I give this. And I say person dot name equal to say basket. And person dot age equal to say 30. And person P2 equal to new person. P2 dot name equal to say Parvez. Assuming that Parvez is just born today, right? And what do we need to do? System.out.println P1. What am I missing now further? Here
Age is not an issue.
Age is not mentioned, so default age will be given.
for printing, what do I need?
Yes.
Meaningful printing.
Yes.
What do I need?
toString over
toString.
Right. Return person, the name of the class, hashCode equal to this dot hash code name equal to name, age equal to age. Yes or no? Will this help or not? Java C%.java. We have the constructor. Initially, is the age alone to be 0. Name, I don't want to give a default name. And I have this. Yes or no? And I'm printing this person. Now what happens? For this person, initially, yes, he is born with the age 0. Then gradually, when I bring him, I give the age 30. But whereas this person, just born, I don't want to initialize, increase the age. It is just with the default value, the initial value. Clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, where were we? Let's go to student class. Now, let's go to a student here itself. Sorry, test 2. What am I doing? Assuming these properties, right? I am commenting these out. Name and age only I am talking about. Yes or no? Right? What I have done now?
Comment
What properties I am commenting? Name and
age.
age for 2 objects. Correct? Why I am commenting?
Because they are getting overridden.
That's exactly because I specified a value in a constructor. They don't make sense, correct? I've already declared it. I've already given it in the constructor. Now, I need to combine this as well. The student.java, the student, right? Now, what do you see the values?
Yeah.
Though I say object Chakravarti, object Bhaskar, but what values they both get?
Same.
Why?
Override. Because
Yeah,
they are
that's
the
a good
default
point.
values, we did not override.
Commented it.
Correct. This is the default value for any object that is getting created. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
No matter what, how many objects I create, they will get the default value. But what should I do? What can I do instead? If it is something common, it is fine. We all will agree. Maybe say country. Yes or no? Let's say country. Assuming that all of us, as of now, India, this is acceptable. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
What is the risk? All the objects will have
Same.
the below mentioned values as their initial values, right? While the country is acceptable as a common value for all the objects, the rest of the two are not. Correct? What are the rest of the two?
Name and age.
Yes or no? This is acceptable, but these are not acceptable. Correct? Now, how do I resolve this? Now, how do I resolve this? I think lastly I was talking about that a while ago. How do I resolve this? What way we can mitigate this?
So we can either declare separately for every object or else we can pass parameters.
Very good. Either I can declare separately. How do I declare? Student for Raghavan, one method. But can I make a guess how many objects will be created? How many students will be joining?
No.
Sure.
Do I have a control? In that case, how many methods will I have to be declared? It's endless, correct? Assuming that I write a student class for a university. How many departments, how many sections, how many years? You understand, right?
Yeah.
That student can be a common. You can study in computer science first year, IT third year, doesn't matter. But should I have to create those many methods for those many students in each class, each section? It's not a wise option, correct?
Yes.
Yes or no? So what are the solutions? define separate method for each object, but not at all recommended. Yes, why?
Yes. So many.
Because objects vary.
Maintenance overhead, right?
Yeah.
Second thing, what we can do?
Pass
Pass the
parameters.
values as parameters, correct? Which can make sense, right? Very sensible. Why?
Hmm.
We still have one version that can have many different parameters. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
This is called as parameterized constructor or constructor overloading. How many of you remember the concept called overloading?
Yes.
Overloading is a concept in Java because
Different
it takes
parameters.
one method, multiple parameters. This is one method, student. Here, what do we pass now? String name, int age. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes.
When
This
age.
dot name equal to name. This dot age equal to age. By default, what I can call? Here,
Country.
This dot country equal to India.
Yeah.
I can do that. Because this is still acceptable, correct?
Yes.
It is mostly a common value. Mostly, again, not always. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is called a parameterized constructor or overloaded constructor. Why? It takes some parameters. And overloaded means this is a default constructor. This is called as a default constructor. What do we have now?
Default constructor.
Why it is default constructor?
Not taking any parameters.
One doesn't take any parameter. That's cool. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Now what should I do in my test class if I want this to be effective?
Compile.
I'll also add a method here. What I'm adding?
Method.
Name, age, parameterized constructor. All right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
First, I need to
Raghu,
compile
yeah.
this class. Then I go test student.java, right?
Yeah. To initialize.
Now I am not passing these values. What should I be doing? Instead of calling this Chakravarti, student Chakravarti is equal to new student, what should I be calling?
In student, we need to pass the parameters.
Parameters are certain.
We should not be calling the default constructor
Constructor.
now. Instead, what
Pass
should we do?
values.
Pass the values. Instead, we should be invoking a
Parameterized
parameterized
constructor.
Parameterized means what should we pass?
Name is and country. Student.
Pass. Chakravarti is equal to new student of what name I want to pass to this object. What is the unique value I want to pass this to this object as an initial value? So what do I want to pass? Chakravarti and 22. Yes or no? It takes two parameters, order matters.
Yes.
Like any other method. It's like any other method. Yes or no? Likewise, can I do this as well? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Like I already commented this. Now what can I pass now?
Name and age.
And age.
Name and age.
Pass,
If
pass.
necessary, country.
We are not different. I am not taking it as an argument. Country is not taken as an argument, right?
Yes.
So it is
The
failed.
parameters constructor is not declared, so it will not be.
Correct.
And then
Student Chakravarti, why? Chakravarti.
Yeah.
Now you get the values as what I passed. Of course, I'm not printing country. Let's go to here. So what do we call toString? Java 8. I have Java 20 right now, but I'm making use of only that. So what do we call now?
Country.
That's fine. That's okay. They are in the LKG level standard now. So I'm not getting into the PhD level now. So that's fine.
Country.
What do I do? Country equal to this dot country, right?
Yes.
Now what do I compile? Java. Then test student dot. Now I get country equal to India comma for both. How many ever objects I create? Yes or no?
Yes.
So only whichever objects I want to control, I take it through parameterized constructor. To initialize a value of my choice, I define a separate method that bears the name of the class called constructor that can be overridden with the different parameters. Now, if I were to pass a different country as well, what do I do now? Assuming I don't want a default value of country.
We can
What should I do now?
object.
What should I do now?
Remove India.
In constructor, they
Pass
need
the country
Setting
argument.
parameter in the.
Can I pass this here or what?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir, we can pass them.
But what if I want to have two different versions? If I don't pass, it takes default as India. If I pass, it takes that value. If I want to have that, you
Should have
can overload guys. 32 to 38, 6, 7 method, YY. You can overload. See here,
yes, we can.
you can pass this. What is this? Int age,
String country.
string, whatever you pass, right?
Yes. Over.
Overloaded method with 3 parameters.
Three
Yes or no?
Yes.
Now I say country as well, correct?
Yes.
Now instead of what I do, instead of this, what should I
Country.
pass?
Yes, country equal to country.
Why? That's the argument passed to me, correct? I need to take that value. Yes or
Yeah.
no?
Yes.
Java C student at Java. Now I go
We need
to
to pass. Yeah.
constructor demo, right? Let's go there. Sorry.
Yeah.
Now what do I do? Instead of this, what can I pass now?
Yes, one more country.
New student equal to.
Name.
Okay, let's do that. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. Minita 20. Correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh. Okay, wait a minute. Let me do this. Give me a minute. Why? What will be the difference in the output? Somebody tell me.
Default constructor and parameterized constructor.
What will be the difference in output? That's what I want. Yes. Now I can pause this. Lakshmi is from USA as of now. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Now what will be the output? 3 different outputs I want to get, correct? What is the output?
Yes. The default value country India will consider for history.
And Vinita will get India and to pass country USA for Lakshmi.
Okay. All right. Now I pause that. So what is my output? That's my guess. I want you to guess. When I print S1 dot print detail, what do I get?
Takes the default values of
What
the
default
country.
values?
The country
What
is
default values? What default values?
So Vinuta 20, next
Yes, that's how I
Vinuta
want
20
to.
India, Lakshmi 30 USA. In first object, country will not be.
Correct. Great. Let's take a look at it. என்ன நீ சொல்லுங்க கிளாஸ்ல இருக்கேன். Sorry guys. So yes, I just got a call. Sorry about it. Right. Let's take the output. As Lakshmi has rightly guessed, what is the are we printing this? Sorry, my bad. Constructor demo.java. We were only printing print details, my bad. We wanted to print, right? Println S1. This is what I wanted to take. For the moment, let's forget about this. This is what I'm printing. What object I'm printing? Yes, two. Now, I print. Yes, right? Java C contains demo.java. So what is the value we are getting? First is Raghavan, next is also Vinuta, age 20, and country India still. Why? You are getting me the output?
Yeah.
Is this clear?
We didn't pass any of
Actually, 30 USA, we explicitly pass all the three parameters. So we get the value, correct? Yes or no?
Yes, Raghavan. Yeah.
Pass 3. Second, in Vinuta 20, here, second object, S2. It will call name age parameter. The last one called 3, so we get USA country passed. Here, second two parameters, by default, India as a country, we get it, right? First one, student constructor invoked. That's all we had. Yes or no?
Yes.
We call student, but by default, what country I'm passing? Here as well, I'm passing India. Here as well, I'm passing India. So I get
right.
This. Makes sense? So this is how you would manipulate a different parameters to the constructors based on your choice. You don't need to struggle with one constructor. You could have as many constructors as possible with a different flavor as permutation combination. Constructor overloaded methods. Make sense?
Yes.
Is it clear?
Yes, Raghavan. Yes, Raghavan.
So do you have another 5 minutes to cover where I want to touch upon the objects and classes with the collections?
Yes, Raghav. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
we can do
We
it.
have, but you said you have some plans after.
Yeah, I have to
Travel
stop. Yeah.
and
I'll just finish it up because bit more I wanted to catch up now.
Yeah.
Thanks. So,
Yeah.
objects with collection. Demo.java, right? I'm going to make use of the same student class, right? Objects with, is it the same? Objects with collection. Objects with collection. All right. Public static. Why? This is very important, guys. Please pay attention. It's really, really important. Now, what I'm going to do now, maybe I'll say list demo. Just put this. I want to show that first. Public static void list demo. So, in order to use my list, what should I use? Before java.util.
java.util.
Obviously, we should also need what?
Collect.
Array list.
Array list,
Right?
yeah.
So what I'm gonna do now, as simple as that. Student S1 equal to new student. Because it's the same package, I'm okay with it. I need to cover package as well. This is fine. Student S2 equal to new student. Any questions on this so far? Maybe this we all understand. Student, I want to have three objects, right? New student. Now, what will happen to the default values? If I have this, I don't pass any initial parameters of their own. What will happen?
So default constructor
value.
will be executed.
Invoke, and all of them will have the same value. Let's
Same
take
values, yeah.
not null value. They'll have a
Same values.
because
Same
I
values.
have
yeah.
given some values in the default constructor. Correct?
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes or no? Now
Yes,
I
yes,
say,
sir.
please pay attention. List of student. I want to have a list that will only like a list of string, list of integer. I want to have a list of all students. Students, please come online. They say all the students come one at a time. Correct? Like a
Yes,
stream
yes.
object, like that. So I call this as student list. New array list of students. All right. I'm able to create. Now what do I do then?
dot add up S1.
Student list dot add up. Yes.
S1, yeah. Similarly as to S3.
Student list dot
Yeah.
add up S2. Student list dot add up S3. Am I right? First, next, what do I do? Step 2. Create a collection that will store student
details.
Student objects, not details. We are talking about objects.
Yeah.
What is step 1? Create the individual student objects as of our choice. Now, step 3, add all the
Adding.
objects into a
Collection.
to the collection. Then what can we do? Step 4, simple, print the collection. Let's see what. System.out.println student.list. All right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Any
Yes,
questions?
yes, sir.
So
No,
print
Raghav,
ln
yeah.
spelling.
Sir,
Anything wrong?
printer and spelling is wrong, yeah.
Sure. Thanks. Yeah, that always happens. Okay. All right. What do I do? The class got compiled.
You
Now
print.
object collection demo. What happened? Please pay
Hash
attention.
code.
What is my class? What is my class doing? Not collection demo. I create 3 objects. When I'm constructing an object by calling a constructor, what happens? In that constructor, I have written a system out. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Student constructor info default values. And it prints immediately, we print that value as well. Yes or no?
Yes, yes, Raghav.
Student.java. Immediately we call this system out println of this. It will invoke toString method. That's what we are printing. That is why you see both the values here. Constructor, immediately we print the value, correct? How many times we call? 3 times.
3
Why?
times.
Because we create 3 objects.
3 objects. Yeah.
Finally, what happens? Do you see that? What is this?
The entire collection got printed. Yeah.
The collection gets printed wherein go to the list class, list interface. Go to navigate class, list, java.util.list. Yes? Yes or no? It extends
Yes, sir.
collection basically.
Collection.
Let's do toString. Where is the toString? It is not present at all, right? Go to collection, toString method. Yes. Okay, collection where it is abstract collection, it will be an abstract collection. Basically. Iterable, okay. Contains iterator, 2 array, result, find 2 array, toString, that's either here, written out, that's fine. So maybe it's iterable. I don't know, iterable. It's again an interface, it doesn't have. It may not have that. Let's go to list itself. Okay, we have an array list, my right side. We have to go to the array list class. List is an interface, right? What is the actual
Yes.
implementation class we are using? Array list, right? That extends an abstract list, basically. That's what it is. Abstract collection, that extends abstract collection. Implements list. So this is that. Okay, what do you see here, guys? Please pay attention. Array list extends an abstract list that extends an abstract collection. Inheritance hierarchy, toString method. What do you get? If the iterator asks next, that doesn't have anything, it prints an empty list, just empty square. If not, we have a string builder. What do? As long as there is a next element, this collection dot append, what do? The each element that toString they call. What is the toString object? What is the object toString? My collection, student collection, correct?
Yes, sir.
My student collection, it's toString, it is invoking. What is my toString? I've already given that, correct? That's what it's getting. The student, this is 1, comma, next element, comma, next element. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we print a collection into the stream, where we store each individual object into the collection. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's just a bit different, where we store custom objects, user-defined data type into the collection. It is as good as string or integer. This is also an object. But we have our own, we know how to deal with it. It's constructor. Let's assume we make some change. We know that, are we happy with the values Raghavan age 42 for all? Are we happy? No, right? So what we have the way now for avoiding this?
Give the respective details.
All right. Now we Ashima. I don't know. Maybe I'll put this. Right. Let's say I give her name Kata, just for the sake of discussion, right? Who else it is are there in the class? Yatish. Right? Let me see. It's 24. He is from Singapore. Okay, makes sense. Object with connection.java. Now I run this. Now you get what? Parameterized constructor invoke, but I don't have a toString later. But here you get the value. Bhaskar. This is fine, right? The student Java, only in the default constructor I call this print ln of this toString, but not in this overloaded constructors. I only print this statement. I'm not calling this system of interclasses. Make sense?
Yes, sir. Good.
So that's why you don't see that output there. But you get this output here, correct? Bhaskar 30 India, Ashima 27 Qatar, Yatish 24 Singapore. Yes or no? But are we happy with this output? It comes one long string. It is because that is how it is prepared. Just appending and comma, comma, comma. It doesn't give a new line at all. What do we do? Next important item, what we can do that is, what we can do? Rather than printing this way, what can we do, sir? for each. We can print each element at a time, correct?
The
Or-
iterative.
Yes, student list. It's a for each loop. Whoever doesn't know, please Google around and find the Java basics. For each loop. System.out.println. I am doing the same. I'm iterating a collection, get one item at a time and printing that. It is as good as system.out.println S1, S2, S3, what we have done. But in a collection, I am doing it's a generic. Even 100 items are there, it will print everything one at a time. Make sense? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Now you see the output different. What is the difference of the output now? Previous output and this output, what is the difference?
Yeah, previously it was printing as a single entity. Now
One
it's
single line. Now it is,
Yeah.
we are separating it out as what? One line at a time. Now you understand if it is 15 parameters you have given, assuming, what is the parameters of student class? Sir? Type on n10 student object. How many parameters we have? Can you tell me? 6, correct? Assuming I print all the 6 attributes, how lengthy this gonna be? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That is why we always say you keep what minimal is required. No long stories. What is absolutely minimum, you add it. Clear? And we print the
Yes, sir.
collection with each of the names. One at a time we print. Any questions? I think I'm going to stop here. for today. Any thoughts or any questions on whatever we have discussed? We have probably tomorrow, we will continue from here. There's quite a few interesting things we can do. We can do a comparing two objects. We can see whether two objects are equal or not. Bit more we can extend it from here. And also we can start JDBC tomorrow. We can get into that as well. Depending on the
Yes.
crowd, we can look at the Git and JDBC as well. This same object we can insert into database and get it there as well. But so far, today's class, whatever we have discussed, any question? I think Kavin, good, who stayed all through the,
No, Raghavan, yeah.
right? Making sense, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yes.
Yes,
Ashima
yes,
left.
Raghavan, yeah.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining. Have a great evening. We'll catch up again.
Any assignments?
Okay. That's a good question, Lakshmi. I'm not prepared. I'll share it with you. Sure, I'll do that. I'll certainly do that. Maybe sometime.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
As always, I will be uploading this recording sometime to the channel, and you can take a look. And please do pass on the comments, feedback with your own wordings. It is just to invite many other people, right?
Yeah,
And don't just
sure,
do
yeah.
the copy paste of one person's wording. This is not right. Please take some efforts and share your own experiences, whatever it is. 2 lines, 3 lines, 5 lines, doesn't matter. Your own unique wordings, please do share certain ones, so that others also get to see and we get to invite more people for the occasion and festival event. Okay.
Great. Yeah. Yeah, Raghavan.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, guys. And certainly I look for the other people to join. I'll share this image as well, right? Obviously, this image also I'll be sharing with you all. And the Git demo and the class, we'll see it. Probably provided we get right audience. Okay. Sure.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening. Good night. Thank you, Siki. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.